G'day YouTube, welcome to Drop Bear Moto. My name's Richard. Ton of fun in store today. 2025 Indian Motorcycle Range has landed and the bikes are actually here at Indian Motorcycles of Palm Bay. They've been good enough to give me a first ride on these motorcycles. We're going to spread this out over a couple of videos, starting off with the 112 cubic inch motor. We have a Pursuit here. We're going to jump on this one. I'm a Challenger owner. Mrs. DBM behind the camera at the moment did have a Chieftain, now has a Road Glide. So we're in a really good position to give you a unique perspective as owners of these motorcycles and just take a look at some of the changes for 2025. What's the 112 all about and would you buy one? Let's check it out. No, this is not a 2025 112 cubic inch PowerPlus motor. This is my 2020 Indian Challenger. Why am I starting the story here? Look, I thought just to give you context of the way I'm sort of looking at this test ride today. For those that are new to the channel, I've had this motorcycle just over 2 years now. I've put over 10,000 on it a year. And it's been a phenomenal motorcycle. So I'm not new to the PowerPlus engine by any stretch. We'll talk more about why this motor was a game changer in the Harley Indian world when it came out. Overhead cams, liquid cooled, and why Indian went that way. But I just wanted to tell you the sort of frame I'm coming from, because this isn't a standard 108 cubic inch. I'm running, as you can hear, I'm running a Sawicki 2-in-1. It's actually a Lloyd's Sawicki 2-in-1, and I've got a Lloyd's tune. So I'll put up the unfortunately we couldn't give it a full run then with this car here. Probably could have, but shouldn't do that sort of shit on YouTube. I'll put up the dyno sheet so you can have a look, but this one's running about 114 horsepower, 125 torque. That's at the rear wheel, obviously, off the dyno, not what Indian quotes at the crank. Very hard to compare what a factory one does have, and dynos changing things, but it's definitely got, I don't know, 5 to 10 horsepower over the standard 108. So I'm used to a little bit more horsepower and torque than the standard 108, so it'll be interesting to compare the 112. I do have the lower fairings as well, so comparing to the Pursuit, sort of know the weight there. I've ridden a couple of Pursuits with the 108 with the trunk on the back, so should have a good sort of frame of reference for seeing what does the 112 really give us out of the box and where do we go from there. I've been thinking about for some time throwing a big bore kit or a cam into this one, and to be honest I procrastinated around the Lloyd's cam versus the Indian factory cam and whether to do the 112 big bore kit. So this will be an interesting one for me, just to ride a bike with that already in there and what we can build on it from there. So I'm not sure whether I want to, trade up and get a new 112 or whether to keep building this one out the way I want it. It's one of my decisions, and that's why I'm excited about today to go get a look at this thing. So just to give you a little bit of a feel, how this thing takes off. We're in 5th gear, and if I hit the throttle, you can see it takes off, and obviously I could drop a gear from there and go back to 4th, but when I'm on the freeway, and that's the bit that I miss with this motor I'd be looking to achieve from the 112 is really that sort of 3,000 and up kind of RPM, just getting that real punch in the back horsepower is what I'm hoping to see in the 112. So I'm not sure we'll get a chance to test that today, but certainly in lower gears we will. Got to do that when you pass under a tunnel, right? So let's just see what this one does. see, it's pretty explosive as it is today in the 108 form. It's a bit of fun, if nothing else. Here we are, exciting times. Oh, there's the new beasts. Look at that. That's what we're going to be riding. First of all, we're going to look at the 112 cubic inch motor. That's the big news in this Challenger, or across the PowerPlus range, but definitely the Challenger Pursuit, as this one is here. It's now also in the Chieftain and Roadmaster, and we'll talk a bit more about that in another video. It's now putting out 126 horsepower and 133 foot-pounds of torque. So what's that, about 4 horsepower more than the 108 cubic inch, about 5 more foot-pounds of torque. Does that matter? Am I even going to notice it? I'm not sure. That's where I'm keen to run this. I've heard some great things when people have done the big bore kit, the non-Indian one that's been around for some time. A lot of people did cams and said, yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. I went to the big bore kit and I really got an outcome. So keen to really see, what's the difference. First time I've ridden a 112. Why did they do it for such a small gain? Look, really, the 112 got homologated from racing. They need to produce that engine. That's what they run, the king of the baggers. So it's a classic case of win on Sunday, sell on Monday, and bragging rights, right? I got a 112 cubic inch. I know it's not a 121 that Harley's rocking in the air-cooled, but 112 and liquid-cooled is a big motor. So I've been fascinated for a while just to see what the big difference is here. I'm not going to do a full Challenger run through because there's lots of content out about the Challenger. I might note a couple of pieces while we're out there what I love about it in particular, but to me the platform changed the game for the fixed fairing baggers. I rode the CVO ST. Mrs. DBM owns one. For me personally, that's an awesome bike. I couldn't justify the expense difference to go up to that. Do I want to trade mine for one of these? That's the big question we're going to answer today. So let's go take it for a spin and see what it's all about. So the moment that we've all been waiting for. Let's throw a leg over this 112 Pursuit. See what she's all about. So one of the things that does come with the 112 out of the gate is the blind spot monitoring. You saw it come on there as we started it up. That's a great addition. We'll also see if we see these things on, but there's a few electronics. We get included a warning if someone's tailgating you, comes up on the screen. We'll see if we can trigger that while we're out. And it flashes behind, so it puts a strobe light on the rear light to actually let the person behind you know that they're sitting too close to you. So, 6 mile, new bike, got to be loving that. I'm going to whack her in sport mode because I can. Let's start her up. Alrighty, Mrs. DBM going to be running the Sport Chief RT, so it'll be another video that we'll be pushing out on the channel soon, is look at that bike and what's new for 2025 on the Sport Chief. So I don't want to do a full review here on a Challenger because I've done lots of Challenger content before on the channel, and obviously you can go to the website and just learn all about them. But a couple of things that I really love. To me, this motorcycle was a game changer in the bagger market. having the liquid cooled motor with the overhead cam, the way this thing makes power is not like anything that you would have ridden, you know, coming from Indian or Harley before. It's a phenomenal motor, packaged up in the aluminium kind of subframe, you know, using the engine as a stressed part of the motor is being key, and pair that up with the inverted front forks, the single or monoshock rear suspension, whack those big radially mounted Brembos on, and braking, suspension and power is just phenomenal. That to me is a package, and you know, obviously Chieftain and Roadmaster get to benefit from that now too. For me, as a big guy, it's a great bike. You feel at home. That a lot of people complain about the size of screen and the plasticky kind of look at them. You know, sure, that's there, but I don't feel that when I'm riding it, obviously. I do feel for a bigger guy, it's set up really nice. The bars from the factory are pretty crap. You need to come up a bit in my mind. But you get the windscreen that is adjustable. It's pretty tall, this one, actually, from the factory. It's a lot taller than they used to be on the 2020s. So that's kind of maybe new as well. You get the screen. You can plug your phone in for Apple CarPlay. You've got maps built in, though. Obviously, you can stream your music and you know, Bluetooth your phone in for what that's worth. Bunch of information on the bike, all the different modes. We're running in sport mode, as I said at the start. So it's pretty basic compared to what Harley's got now, for sure, but you know, it's got everything you need, you know, for a cross-country trip sitting in there. If you get a speaker package, you get the 100-watt speakers in. You can also get them in the lowers, in the bag lids, you know, and behind the rear seat there. I think you can get like a 600-watt system all up with the Indian system. They have a nice underglow in those speakers as well, so it's a pretty impressive speaker package if that's your thing. For me, the seat is not good from the factory, and I got an extended reach, so I had a bit more room on mine. It's okay, but it's typical factory seat. If you're going to really crush miles on this thing, you'll want to get a better seat. And again, the bars, these ones seem like really low, but if you've got any height to you, you want to lift those bars up. The Indian mid-rise bars do the job good enough for my size, and that'll cover most people. Actually, you can see there now, we had the warning pop up. Looking behind me, yeah, you can see it popping up there, hopefully on the screen. Looking behind me, that's Mrs. DBM tailgating my ass. There it goes again. And now you can see in the mirror there the warning too. So yeah, I don't know, it depends. Do you like technology on motorcycles or not? As we mentioned before, this one comes with a bunch of new things like the lean angle ABS, a lean angle traction control. As you've seen in modern bikes now, a lot of those sort of rider features come with the 112 pack. If you don't want any of that, stick with the 108. Get yourself a set of cams maybe and a big bore kit, and you can do away with some of the electronics, but it's here to stay for the time being. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of technology on motorcycles now. Yeah, and you can actually see that clearly now, and across the bottom of the screen, the warning, and my backlights would be flashing away at that cheeky Mrs. DBM that's tailgating me at the moment. And then there you go, it comes up in the side mirror and in the screen to let you know that you've got someone in your blind spot. I don't know, first impressions, it's like I'm sitting at the disco. Going out to the nightclub, I got lights flashing everywhere. That's obviously because we're riding motorcycles and we're riding kind of staggered two up, so if you're in a group ride, you need to put on some doof doof, and you'll see that. It's probably better when you're just out amongst cars on your own. It's probably pretty handy as a kind of warning signal. But the danger with this sort of stuff is we become reliant on it, and We don't check our mirrors, we don't check our rear shoulder, and we miss stuff. So hopefully we'll hopefully if you get one of these you don't become too reliant. And the other bad thing that can happen is they're flashing all the time, so you just start to ignore them and just assume they're going. But since we left, these things have been up full time, so but it is, as I say, because Mrs. DBM is sitting on my ass. Okay, we've got a little bit of open road here. So again, we're sitting on that just over 3,000, 3,500 revs, third gear. Let's give it a pull. Yeah, look, that's definitely stronger than the 108. I notice it, even with the Sawicki and the tune. I can feel the torque, particularly coming off that motor, moving the bike. It feels more, yeah, it definitely feels more that way than pure horsepower, I think. Let's have a bit of a run here. Yeah, that's it's definitely quicker. It's noticeable. That is something I'd go for. I think you ride a 108 and a 112 back to front, might only be 5 or something horsepower difference, but you can feel it, and it's particularly in the upper rev ranges is where I'm feeling it compared to how my bike's set up. That's a decent amount of decent increase there. Yeah, I like it. I really do. This thing's got me thinking now. Would I want to do cams in my bike, or do I want to go the 112? Ideally, I want to go both, but I don't know. I'd have to speak to an expert and see what they thought was the best option. I definitely think that if you buy one of these 112s and you put a set of cams in it, and a decent 2-in-1 on a tune, man, you got a pretty fast V-twin on your hands. So yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the motor. It's definitely a step forward. Yeah, it's good. The motor's good. Yeah. Look, that extra power, to answer the big question for me is, does the extra cubic inches make a difference? Yeah, it does. Final thoughts. It's a great motor. Look, this has been a phenomenal package, the Challenger. If you're in the market for a bagger, honestly, ride it, get in some twisties, and have a crack and just see if it's on your shopping list. It's definitely worth testing, but you've got to put it through its paces to see what this bike's all about. 108 versus 112, yeah, there's a difference for sure. Absolutely, I definitely felt that. Particularly in the higher RPMs, I was feeling it. It just feels more throaty. It feels like there's more boost behind you than what I had before. So yeah, I definitely love the 112. Thought it was worth it. Would I trade the big cost of probably trading a 2020 for a 2025? I don't know. I'd probably just go the big ball kit, to be honest. If I was buying a Challenger or Pursuit, I would definitely stick the 112 in it. Why wouldn't you? You're going to get better resale. That's what you want to get. Is it worth going off a 108 and getting one? All of the mods I've got on my bike, I wouldn't want to go through and do them again. So for me, I'm not going to probably trade in at this point, but it's a great motor, and it's an even better motor now, the PowerPlus motor with the 112. So I enjoyed the experience. When I've ridden factory 108s after riding mine, I do notice a big drop, and this was comparable to where mine's at with that, the 2-in-1 and the tune, so definitely worth it. I gotta be honest though, all of the electronic wizardry for me, I'd probably leave. I've always got Mrs. DBM with me, so it's going to look like I'm permanently in a nightclub going unsa, unsa, unsa. So yeah, I'd probably leave that out. I don't think you can, but you know, maybe you can switch it off somewhere in there. It's handy, and probably if you're outside, look, I think that stuff's good to just let you know that there's someone around and what they're doing is a good thing. So I don't know, take it or leave it again. Some people are used to it, some people love it. For me, I probably prefer to leave the electronic wizardry out for the moment. I do want to say a big thank you to Indian Motorcycles of Palm Bay for lending us these bikes today. It's been a lot of fun, and a couple more videos to come on the other two bikes we rode. They are, just as I mentioned, they're an hour south of Daytona, so if you're coming out for Bike Week and you want to avoid the crowds, I'd say come on down here. They're probably going to get a few more models in. They'll be having events all through Bike Week. It's a great ride down US 1. Lots of great eateries, you ride along the ocean, so I definitely say come on down, check these guys out. If you're here, you get a chance to ride one of the new 112s. They'll look after you. They've looked after Mrs. DBM and I on all of our Indians, so no money changing hands here. I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't use them myself, but I really appreciate them lending me the motorcycle and checking out the 112. And yeah, please come down, check them out if you're in Central Florida, and take it for a spin. Bikes are in stock now, ready to go. They'll let you test ride them and see for yourself. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you want to see more content like this, give us a subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. In the meantime, I hope whatever you're test riding out there is a bunch of fun, and I hope this video helped you check out the new 112 cubic inch PowerPlus motor. Thanks very much for watching.